maybe a little bit of added pressure now from the rest of the lobby or the players that might be fighting, saying, should we push this? It's not griefing. We just want them to stop earning points. And look at this. This should be G-Scout heaven for Aqualix.
This is what we were talking about. You want to avoid this Hill Valley Civil War trek if you can. It is just an open field.
Oh, mama.
And there's a reason that we saw teams rotating north into Skyhook instead of taking this route. But it's actually going to be the Aqualix push that is coming through. Thermites are out as well, and they are not stopping or slowing down, flying in, taking out fences. Let's see what they can find here if they're able to get any knocks off the brink. No, but it's actually Lou
They're down.
who gets the first kill.
This is big, though. The PKs are coming in huge, and it looks like a Aqualix push, but they get pushed right back, and they end up going down. Ray Rain does find Silence is golden, though, but it seems like that was just a mess from Aqualix, a push gone wrong. Those Thermites weren't in where the position they wanted.
And that was Slurpee G also taken down on the Griefer side, so a whole mess. And there's a reason we talked about that part of the map. Hill Valley, not easy to fight through. A lot of aggression coming out, and we just see 6 squads go down like that. And to be honest, in a lobby with this amount of skill, Rain, that's a lot of teams to exit at that round.
Absolutely is, and you're seeing the rotation on rotation, the little things. When you see someone go, you're trying to have them be the second party so you can be the third party. They engage on a fight, and then you pick off, like Carrion Birds, the winners of that engagement. And it seems like Bronzy, with that intellectual mind we're talking about, knowing the game so well, and Timmy, the comms are on point. They are approaching it, picking off the shielding, getting their resources up so that they can get ready for these final fights.
And like you said, they're able to just get the spoils of that battle. And we are definitely still seeing Rain, you called it perfectly, pulling towards Drill, TSM, and Sentinels, making that early call to set up there, and so far it has paid off for them. GG guys will have to push across Hill Valley as well. It won't be too easy. However, there's a very good chance that every single building in Drill, even underneath the buildings in Drill, they're going to be Watsoned up. So they might have an okay route towards Drill. Getting into Drill will be a very different story.
Right there in front of us, 316, where those fights are happening. That is the biggest control point of rotating into Drill, because that high ground is often in these final circles, and it shuts you down from any angle. Look at this open space. You're going to have to Wraith Portal there, and they know it. Pride. Apex finding his way to just use that G7 Scout and see if they can get this solo player, but it looks like it is not going to happen. Nathan actually getting taken down by Rogue. Sweet. And so there are a couple of kills. This is going to be a little bit of mayhem, Broth.
Like you said, PTM with this high ground, it's also in the next zone, so they're going to hold this for the next few minutes.
It's
as
so
teams are going to start flying through Hill Valley. They're trying to get these free shots, get any free kills that they can.
And if you have ordinances here, you know you can get a kill. She cannot drop that Watson ult in time. This should do damage, and it is. The Thermite goes in as well. Someone's trying to pick that kill off, but they're exposed. They can back off here. They've got the Watson generator. No ordinances can get up. PTM sitting pretty with 11 squads left.
This is a great spot to be. That's what I was talking about right there. You know, with the types of buildings that we have in Drill, teams are going to be set up inside the Drill buildings, but you can absolutely be guaranteed, just like we saw at GLL, that there are going to be teams who are fully Watsoning up the bottom as well, depending on exactly where they think we're really going to end here. And you do start to see that next circle where it's going to be. Things are going to move even further west.
And you can look at PTM, where they were sitting in those standings. It was one of those things where you say, these guys are showing up, but only 1 point as far as their earlier 2 games. So this could be a huge difference maker for them, but they're going to have to go against teams like Rogue. Full 3-man, still in prime control, prime position to have an impact in these final 10 teams.
Yep, Husker's going to just slow heal on this ult, and you know, I think we used to, if you think about early Apex Legends, there was arguments about low ground versus high ground. To be honest, it's all dependent on the end circle. It's all dependent on the exact building type. Oftentimes, that low ground is not as disadvantageous as it might seem. But if you're just joining us here, a recap of the first 2 games. TSM right now in first place with 30. Rogue in second with 24. And Little Poggies with 23. That's your top 3. 10 squads left in our game number 3 here at the very first Apex Legends Global Series online event.
And it looks like it's Timmy and P-Fitter as well. They've lost Bronzy, it seems like. But it does seem to be, no, Bronzy here, he's up high, so he's looking at his teammates. He's taking the high ground. I love this approach. They're coming from 2 different angles. They don't know where the third is. They're focusing on Bronzy, but P-Fitter and Timmy make it into the building, and the Thermite hits.
Look at that, and somehow Bronzy beautifully dodges a bunch of shots, but just as soon as I say that, loses all shields, and HP needs to get the cover. He goes down right away. Also a shot from the north, needs to be careful. Now looking at the RCO squad as well.
And this is big too as well, because they end up finding Bronzy and they find Lou. So these are a few teams dropping. G-Dolphin ends up cleaning up. Mooman and Sentinel Zoms ends up going out just while RCO White and Gabe Is Money just sit in this building. So prime position is now starting to pay off for these teams in the top 7.
Yep, Stinky did go down in the feed. You might have caught that, as well as the GG guys. TSM still putting up more kills on the board as well. Now we're checking in with the TSM side.
R301 for Hal. Not the biggest burst, but it's better damage per bullet than the R99. He's going to try to pressure it out there. Blue shields that he's fighting on the left. They know that's a vulnerability. 11 teams watching, only 2 kills are named. That's big damage. 137 almost knocked him there, but does he want to push?
Let's see if he jumps up. Also PK in hand. If there's one guy,
they do.
The PK starts to go up, but he's now in a 1v3, immediately knocked down. Reps is the only one left. He will go down. That is TSM out.
And top 7 going down. Teams are going to be happy about that. Still so many points on the board. This is where it starts to be money. If you're trying to climb up in the rankings, top 4 starts to add 4 to 5 to 7 to 9 to 12. And RCO is looking really strong right here in this house.
And here's also the question. RCO, by the way, in the standings, if we look exactly where they are, they're in number 8. They need a big game here. The story also that we started at the beginning of the game, Sentinels has a real opportunity to strike here to get back into the top 3. They are quite far away now. They are in 12th with only 9 points. They need a big game 3 if they want to come out with a great performance here.
And I don't know if that has to be Watsoned up or they're out of thermites. They clearly aren't. But you can tell that there's so many teams hiding up there and to the left. But look at it, it's Snipe Down and G-Dolphin and BCJ. They are the team that RCO White keeps fighting, but they go up because the circle is moving in, Brob, and this is an engagement they gotta win.
How does he stay alive here somehow? All the attention gets diverted from him. More great scout shots as well. Now, just like that, 5 squads left in the game. Make it 4.
And they take him down, and that is a full wipe by the Sniper Abusers, and they take the high ground now. Anakin, what do you have to say about that? RCO White has to move out of the house, but an R99 deletes. It looks like Brood here, and BCJ as well still alive. This is strong.
Massive in hand for BCJ on the high ground. More damage coming out there on a downed opponent. Also notes he might need to drop down here. 2 squads left here as it's just them, and I think that's going to be it. Yes, it's it. Sniper Abusers gets a game number 3 win.
Oh my God. Snipe Down. And that squad not doing any sniping there. That's all Mastiff action, and that's all just execution, man.
And really, that's also them picking up from yesterday. This is a brand new squad. Keep in mind, Snipe Down just joining forces with BCJ and G-Dolphin. They only had about a week. There was a few days where they were actually playing Gibby. They go back to Path, and they actually win. Big change, and they win their group yesterday. They win their semifinal. Now here they are winning game number 3. And they're right in the mix, too.
Brof, you know, the thing, too, is that Snipe Down always somehow finds a way to be involved. To be competing. He's one of the best competitors I've seen, and you've known him for a long time in so many other professional sports. But for me, the big thing is that G-Dolphin and BCJ, he said it from the start, I've never had better synergy than playing with these guys, and it's proving. Big win. Yeah,
big win. Snipe Down's back on the Wraith role, like we said. He's also back in the IGL position. I think that's where he feels comfortable. If you got to watch Poland when he was playing with 0-0 and Mimu, 2 temporary teammates, he felt really good calling for them, and it's a big win for them. I think another story we got to highlight is Sentinels. We have to see exactly where they ended up in that game. I believe it was right around the top 5-ish. Depending on the amount of kills. I mean, they're a high kill team, so that could be a big performance, but we're going to have to wait till we see the leaderboard.
And remember, top 5, I mean, it's what, 4 points maybe?
Yeah.
4, 3? It's not that much, so they do need those kills. I mean, Snipe Down right here, with those kills and Sniper Abusers, I could see them having an 18 to 25 point game potentially. I mean, it was a strong performance from them. 2 squad wipes towards the end. I mean, that's another 6 points on top of a 12-point initial win. So this is actually changing the game quite a bit. They jumped themselves up into strong contenders to take first place.
Yeah, it's going to be a great games number 4 and 5. But with that, we want to go ahead and break down all the action. So it's back to the Legends Lounge with Fallout, Lulu, and Blaze.
Thank you so much, Bravo. If you enjoyed that crazy finish to game number 3, you, of course, can get details on everything competitive at playapex.com/ALGS. What a game 3 that it was with Sniper Abusers.
And that was such a great sight there towards the end of the drill site. Lots of action, John.
Lots of action indeed. Sniper Abusers ending up on top, very well positioned. Break down the final moments of that last game right there. What did you see from Sniper Abusers?
Well, you know, one beauty about Sniper Abusers was their positioning. You got to take a look at that last circle. We had a bunch of teams in the drill site, fortified. They had Watson fences at the top, at the bottom. We had a lot of teams in that last circle. Now, Sniper Abusers, they was over there towards the back end, not inside drill site, but more towards the outskirts. And at first, it looked like they was going to get the circle, but they got it towards the end. Then and next thing you know, they start connecting with those scout shots. The G7 put out so much damage. You saw the incinerator grenade came out, that sea of fire. They lit them up, got those kills, and then right at the end, they had that little height advantage, and they had the massive as well.
And of course, we see Snipetown back and his familiar, his love, his first, maybe second love. He's a married man. It's Wraith. I play as Wraith once again, and let me tell you, it's been great to see Snipetown playing with the character he's so incredibly good at as an aggressive player.
He is, and he's like, how do I say this? He's played with so many different people, and every time he shows up, you've seen him fill for teams, like at X Games, he filled, right?
Yeah.
And even though he's playing with new people all the time, he's showing up. He's one of the most consistent players, I'd say.
And and you know, you think about his career in gaming, how long he's been doing it. We was watching him when we were younger, back in the Halo days. And the man, he got it, ice in his veins. No matter the situation, no matter who he's playing with, he knows how to be there for his team, whether as an aggressor or a support player. Whatever they need, he can do it.
I love that consistency in Apex, consistency in his entire career, and of course the ability to adapt to his teammates. He played a support player in Krakow. Now he's playing a lead Slayer type of role. It says so much about him. Let's go ahead and take a look at the highlights to show you how the action broke down and how many plays Snipetown and G-Dolphin made for this squad. Of course, BCJ from Michigan as well. We saw some interesting things here, though. We saw a lot of early fights and early game action. I think it was
this was a mishap.
2 to 3 rings before the last ring. There was only 12 teams left, Lulu.
Yeah, and here it's a third party and a fourth party, and the thing is, like, everyone hates, getting third party, but you have to be smart about it,
Yeah.
You can't third party too early, too late. Yeah, perfect timing with that.
Yeah, the Griefers thought they were in a good position. So did we watching.
Yeah.
Of course, this is the TSM slight misplay, something you don't see happen very often, where they had someone so hurt, but they didn't recognize, well, if there's 2 more players up there ready to support you, it's so hard to push up a Pathfinder Ultimate or Zipline without getting absolutely melted. Not only that, but RCO was right there on the second floor.
Yeah, they had a whole nother team on that other floor, and they got melted.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Of course, the last moments of the game, it was G-Dolphin and Snipetown and BCJ. Snipetown gets taken out early. It doesn't even matter. He trusts his teammates. He loves this team. If you talk to Snipetown right now, I don't think he's ever had more confidence in an Apex team that he's playing with. He, of course, was with the pickup team at X Games, like you said. He played with the team for a few weeks, Frexes and Co. at Poland. Now he's playing with a team that he feels great about. So great that they flew out G-Dolphin all the way to Vegas.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. These boys, they're getting ready, trying to get that travel paid for our Texas major coming up this year, and they're looking good. I believe they got 12 points plus for that win.
Just for first.
Just for first, plus all those kills as well. So I'm curious to see where they're going to fall in the standings now.
Yeah, they're already pretty high up on the leaderboard.
They're in third or fourth.
Yeah,
they're in fourth place.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they've jumped a couple slots.
You got to think they're in a great spot. Of course, interesting action and how things have broken down. We saw TSM on top, perhaps a great finish right there.
And they played it smart too. Making sure that they stayed at least in the top 5 towards the end, especially when you're in that first place position. Being that high up, you can make it, different plays than other teams in that final circle. You don't have to be as aggressive as somebody that may be at the bottom that's desperate for that win. So being able to play great early on in this series is, going to work out for TSM.
Yeah, that late game was a fun one to watch. It felt almost like Kings Canyon over towards Skulltown a little bit with the way the action broke down, of course, from a little town all the way to the open. But it's been a long road for these teams and how they got here. Yesterday, they had to grind their way through an open bracket format. The road to the finals were crazy. They were competitive, and we saw teams like NRG Complexity fall to the teams like Stinky, like the Sniper Abusers, who've only been playing for a few weeks. They, of course, played 5 rounds to make it here in a single elimination tournament, 3 matches per round, and of course, the top 20 teams out of 600 plus teams made it here today. The finals with the 20 best teams in North America, according to these online tournaments. Of course, 5 matches total will be played. We've played 3 so far, and the top 5 finishing teams, well, they get not only a ticket to the major in Texas, they also have travel paid for, a huge opportunity.
Definitely a huge opportunity, man. Hey, I remember back in the day when we were playing, we wasn't getting travel paid for. All right,
stipend for $150.
I had to say, hey, Ma, can I borrow a little bit of money?
Can you drive me to the tournament, please?
Can you help me out? I really want to go. And thank God that she let me go, because I'm here today from all the gaming that I was playing. But definitely a big opportunity. Apex, we have such a great season coming up this year. Already, 2 big events that's been announced. And now we got this this qualifier. You know, you got the other qualifier coming up in March in Paris, and I'm just happy that we get to get a lot of great action, a lot of great games, and we get to use this awesome studio.
Yeah, I love the format. We got premieres, we got majors, and guess what? We have the qualifiers for that very first major and some updated standings for you to see who's going to get paid for. The top 5 teams in first place,
Actually,
topping TSM. We only got 1 point or a few points there, sorry, in that one. It is the Sniper Abusers, led by Snipe Down, the captain of that team. Of course, Lil Poggy is right behind them in 3rd place. So each team that has placed consistently, that's TSM, and teams that have gotten first place finishes in the top 3, Rogue and RCO White right behind them.
Sentinels has also moved up a little bit, so we're seeing them creep their way up to the top. So I wouldn't be surprised if they keep taking over.
That's a good call out. Can Sentinels go big in the last 2 games? And that's the crazy thing. We have 2 more games to decide. Any teams can pop off here, just like we saw. Team Squidward, another team that you maybe haven't heard of, but a lot of pro players respect them as a top team. They're creeping on that top 5 finish in 7th place as well, Blaze.
Yeah, you know, that top 10 looking pretty textbook. You know, just kind of from our predictions coming up into the tournament, you know, the Griefers, the controller squad down there, 5 points, number 18. They're gonna have to get some things going. But you know, so far Sentinels, they're at number 9. You know, this is a good spot for them. You know, you still got 2 games left. They're gonna have to turn it up in game 4 if they want to make it into that top 5.
Yep. So of course our top 5 teams, a lot of players and names you've heard of. One team you maybe haven't heard of, it's Little Poggies. Brood and Co. have been playing incredibly well. It's great to see, and I gotta say, to all new players, welcome to competitive Apex. The future is bright for each and every one of you, and we're so excited to see you continue to pop off here in the Apex Legends Global Series.
You know, one thing that's great to see for me is I'm happy to see RCO White up in that top 5.
Why is that?
Huh? Because, you know, the boy Gabe on the
boy
team.
Gabe.
You know? Hey, you know, I like him. You know, I love watching him play back there in Poland. But, you know, especially like, you know, after getting replaced from his squad and he's over here with the new guys, they're doing good. You know, so far in the top 5 position, 2 games left. You know, they got the travel already, you know, covered at these current standings. But now you have all these teams hunting them down.
Yep.
So they're on the edge, and they're going to have a good game coming
They
up.
got to perform. And for those that don't know, Gabe, formerly of Team Complexity, got replaced by one of the most beloved people in all of competitive Apex, Monsoon. Complexity then didn't qualify. Gabe did with a team that he joined 2 days ago. I've been there as a player. It is the best feeling in the absolute world, I gotta tell you.
He's really coming back with a vengeance there.
He is. So yeah, he wants it. He wants it very,
It always feels good, especially when you get dropped and your team don't make it, but you make it the whole distance pretty much, and it's like, hey, you know, I tried to tell you. You just want to break up the chemistry. Look where you at now. Look where I am.